Oh my gosh, look at all those patch points. What the heck am I going to do with all those? This is so confusing. Today I want to talk about the Korg MS-20. Maybe you've seen some of the cool demos online and you saw how much fun people were having with these things, and then you decided to pick one up. And you got it home, you got it out of the box, and you looked at it and you said, oh, holy crap, what do I do now? So that's what I want to talk about today, how to get around in this thing. This isn't going to be a 13-part video series about how to use every single function on this thing. No. So let's get started. I just want to say that the Korg MS-20, the original, is virtually the same thing as the Korg MS-20 Mini. So any of the tricks that I'm showing you today, you will still be able to use on the Korg MS-20 Mini version. I've played them both and it's the same thing. The setup is the same. We're going to start with the easy part, the programmer section. Oscillators, about your mixer, your two filters, modulation generator, and then envelope generator 1 and 2, and then the modulation section down here. So this is like where things are starting and where things are filtered to where things are changing over time down here. Alright, so you got control over both oscillators. This seems pretty straightforward. You have control over your waveforms, pulse width, pitch over oscillator 2, the chorus. One weird thing on ring mod, it doesn't matter what I set oscillator 1 to be, it just seems to be the same thing. But then noise is both, it seems to be both pulse and a noise. So yeah, filters. We know about this, high pass and low pass. Make it sound more angry. High pass, big deal. Okay, modulation generator. We all know what that is. It's an LFO. Okay, that's all it is. Control over the waveform, whether it's a triangle, sawtooth down, sawtooth up, big deal, and then frequency. Okay, what's this over here? What was I doing with that? You see how it says MG? And that's the same for all three of these. I can route this LFO to any of these at varying amounts. So I can turn it down, I can turn it all the way up. We can have it on pitch too. Okay, well say we wanted to route the control of that through the modulation wheel down here. Okay, see how it also says next to this T external? That means total. That's nothing more than a modulation rate, one that is customizable. So, and the way to do that is up here with this very first patch point. Anything we run into this patch point will override the modulation generator and will become a modulation that we can control the amount with this knob. Patch in the mod wheel to total. Turn up the amount and then the mod. Cool. I'm going to instead plug the modulation wheel into the frequency cutoff. Not for the high pass, for the low pass. Yes. These are already patched into envelope generators. And whatever you plugged in to that spot will override it, and this becomes the amount control for that. Whoa, I want more. Suppose I wanted to use the mod wheel to control the amount of LFO that's introduced. This 3 patch points here, these 3, this is a separate VCA. It's not the VCA, the one controlling the overall amplitude of the whole synthesizer. This is something else. This allows you to use some voltage input to control the amount of another one. So for instance, I'm going to patch in pitch wheel to be the control input. I'm going to use the pulse. I'll use that as the input, And then the output, you know, I can run this at one or two places. I can run that to the total input, or I can run that to the cutoff frequency input. I like using the envelope generator, so I'm gonna use the total input this time. Alright, nothing going on. I've got the amount up a little bit. Ladytron, anyone? Let's do a sample and hold patch. Oh my gosh, I don't remember what to do. Look, it's right here on the front panel. It shows you everything what to do. You've got a clock, you got an input and an output. It does not get simpler than that. Clock. What do you need? You need some signal that is on some recurring time schedule. So what better to use than the modulation generator? We need an input. We need some weird random signal. Pink noise seems to work better for some reason. The output, once again, you can run that one or two places. You can run that into the cutoff frequency itself, or the total. Let's just go ahead and run it off there to the cutoff. See how I have the signal over here? It's better once the signal's over there. If the signal's here, it starts to sound like wet fart sounds, and no one likes that, let's be honest. So set it there. I could show you what the white noise sounds like. It's nowhere near as good. See how, like, I don't know why this is. You know you want a Mr. Roboto, so let's go ahead and affect the pitch. I'm going to just run it over the total, so then I can run it into whatever I want to, using these knobs here. So I still got the filter, and then I want to run pitch. Oh my gosh, look at all those patch points. It's not confusing. I already showed you what half of these do already. So you know about these three, you know about those three, you know about this one, and this one, and that one, and that one. But this is an external input. If you want to just run some sound through your filters, this is where you run it. Easy. Oh man, that's a piece of cake. I already showed you what these two do. Those are your modulation generator outputs. Envelope generator 1 signal. This is an inverted envelope generator. Over here, oh my gosh, envelope generator 2 has an output too. You got an envelope can be triggered independently of the notes themselves. Trigger for the envelopes as much as you want without affecting what the trigger for the notes themselves are. So you'd use these two to like CV and gate another synthesizer from the MS-20, and these are the two you will use to control the MS-20 from the CV gate of the other synthesizer. VCO2 has its own tuning. That's a pretty cool function. Oh crap, that's pretty cool. I want to have the MS-20 randomly trigger itself. That sounds kind of weird. No, I mean, we've got this sample and hold over here already, and I've showed you how to set up a sample and hold. I just plug some kind of clock into the input, like the MG, and then what else do I need? I need an input of some kind. Well, that would be the pink noise generator. Give me pretty good results last time. And then I need to run that output somewhere. Well, the output could go to the trigger input. Oh crap, that's pretty cool, but it doesn't sound quite right. Remember how we can turn this here and get better results. And then, so that's fun. And look, I can still play the keys. Now I'll tell you about the external signal processor while I load my Volca Beats up with batteries. It's a separate circuit from the rest of the synthesizer. You can run a guitar signal in here, and it's supposed to be able to track the frequency of that guitar or whatever instrument it is. Maybe it's another synthesizer. And then you should have that frequency available to plug in and control the MS-20 functions. You can also run the signal itself, or even the triggers that are generated from this external signal. It makes more sense if I can just show you. Okay, I'm going to take the headphone output on my Volca Beats and plug that to the signal input. Then I'm going to run the out to the external signal input, and I'll press play, which it already is going actually, and you don't get any sound because no notes are triggered. So you can kick the level up. Of course, your peaking is going to distort the signal some, and you also get a signal trigger output. Then you can adjust its level here. It may not blink at all, or every once in a while. That looks pretty good. You also have a CV adjust. That adjusts the tracking of the pitch. If I were to plug a guitar in here, this tracks the pitch, and the resultant pitch CV would come out at this point. Actually, the MS-20 is known to be weird as far as the way it tracks pitch, especially with the guitar. Okay, I don't want to sit here and hold down the key for the whole time that I want this. What I will do is I'll just plug something that sends a constant voltage to the trigger input. I plugged the mod wheel into the trigger in. Mod wheel 0 will put out 5 volts, and then if I turn it upward, it will turn off the triggering. That's pretty cool. So I can just let that run. Now I can play with the filters. You have some filtering here within the signal processor. Of course, these don't have any resonance controls. I could take that trigger, the output, and I can actually take it from here. Now we're getting something that I can envelope. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to my channel.